Pay attention. Before we decode this matrix, smash that subscribe button. If you want to stop being a spectator in your own life and start controlling the board, you need to be part of this movement. Hit subscribe and let's get into the raw truth. You have been sold a lie. Society, romantic comedies, and weak advice have conditioned you to believe that effort equals attraction. You think if you text faster, call more, and show her how much you care, she'll finally see your value. Dead wrong. That behavior is exactly what puts you in the safe zone, also known as the friend zone. Today, we are flipping the script. We are discussing the weaponization of silence. We are talking about what actually happens in her brain when you, the guy who usually responds in 30 seconds, suddenly go completely dark. This isn't about being toxic. It's about reclaiming your power. When you ignore her once, you aren't just being quiet. You are triggering a psychological emergency in her reality. Let's talk about the dopamine economy. You need to understand that for many women, your attention is not just polite conversation. It is a dopamine hit. It is validation. It is proof that she is desirable. When you are constantly available, constantly liking her posts, and constantly replying, you are flooding the market with your attention. Basic economics. When supply is high, value hits rock bottom. You are making yourself cheap. But the second you pull back, the second you execute total silence, you create a supply shock. You cut off the dopamine supply. Now she is going through withdrawals. She acts, but gets no reaction. This creates a vacuum. And in that vacuum, your value creates a parabolic spike. You go from being just another guy in her DMs to being the enigma. You become the prize because you are the one thing she can't easily consume. This leads to the expectation violation. The female brain is highly attuned to social patterns. She has a mental model of you. You are the guy who pursues. You are the guy who is down bad. She rests easy knowing that if she wants validation, she can just tap your name on her screen. When you go silent, you violate that expectation. You break the algorithm. This triggers intense cognitive dissonance. She thinks, I am the catch, but your behavior says, you are irrelevant to me. Her brain cannot process this conflict. She starts glitching. She stops looking outward and starts looking inward. Is he mad? Did I gain weight? Is he talking to that other girl? The script flips instantly. Instead of you wondering if she likes you, she is now losing sleep, wondering if you still like her. You have successfully inverted the dynamic without saying a single word. You have to stop fearing silence. Most men are terrified of the dead air because they think they will lose her. The opposite is true. Silence is the loudest communication tool you possess. Silence forces her to project her own fantasies and fears onto you. When you are talking, you are removing the mystery. When you are silent, you are a blank canvas. She starts imagining you are doing something high value. She starts fearing that she has lost her hold on you. This utilizes loss aversion. The psychological pain of losing your attention is twice as powerful as the pleasure of having it. By ignoring her, you are pressing on that pain point. You are forcing her to realize that your presence is a privilege, not a right. You are stepping out of the frame of the simp and stepping into the frame of the stoic. Now let's go deeper into the timeline. We are talking 24 to 72 hours after you execute the silence. This is where the paranoia phase kicks in. Up until now, she probably thought you were just busy. She thought, oh, he's probably working, he'll hit me up later. But as the hours bleed into days, that confidence turns into anxiety. You need to understand that high-value women are used to men orbiting them. They have a lineup. But the guy who walks away? That's the guy who disrupts the hierarchy. By ignoring her, you are subtly communicating that you have options. Even if you are sitting at home alone eating pizza, your silence signals that your attention is occupied elsewhere. This triggers competition anxiety. Evolutionary psychology dictates that women are hyper-aware of pre-selection. If other people want you, you must be valuable. If nobody wants you, you're trash. When you are constantly available, you signal that nobody else is fighting for your time. You are easy prey. But silence? Silence implies you are busy. Maybe you're leveling up your business. Maybe you're at the gym. Or, the most terrifying thought for her, maybe you're with another woman who appreciates you more. This thought acts like a virus. It starts small, but because you aren't there to reassure her, it grows. She starts stalking your socials. She checks your status. She analyzes your last conversation. Did I say something off? Was I too needy? Was I too cold? The tables have turned completely. You aren't wondering about her. She is dissecting you. This brings us to the ego fracture. A woman's ego, particularly in the modern dating market, is fragile. It's built on the validation of men she deems beneath her or orbiters. When you, a guy she may have categorized as a sure thing, suddenly become a ghost, it causes an ego fracture. She feels rejected, and rejection breeds obsession. We want what we can't have. It's human nature. By ignoring her, you instantly become the thing she can't have. You become the challenge. She might get angry at first. She might try to bait you with a text like, "Wow, you're quiet," or send a random picture. Do not fold. That is a ping. She is checking if the dog is still on the leash. If you reply instantly, you confirm you were just waiting. If you ignore that too, or reply hours later with zero emotion, you deepen the fracture. You are proving that her validation is no longer your oxygen. Let's talk about the vacuum effect. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you create a void of silence, she feels a compulsive need to fill it. This is why you see women double texting or posting thirst traps or trying to make you jealous after you go silent. They are trying to get a reaction because a reaction proves they still have control. If you react, they win. If you stay silent, the vacuum grows. She starts projecting her own fantasies onto you. She imagines you are cooler, stronger, and more stoic than you actually are. Your silence allows her to build a version of you in her head that is a high-value male. You stop being Dave who texts too much and become the guy who walked away. That version of you is infinitely more attractive. Before we move to the next phase, realize this. You are reclaiming your time. While she is spiraling, wondering why you aren't simping, you are actually using that energy to build your life. This isn't just a trick. It's a lifestyle shift. You stop checking your phone every 30 seconds. You stop seeking her approval. You start validating yourself. This shift in your internal reality is felt by her. Women have a sixth sense for neediness. Silence kills neediness. It shows you are self-sufficient. And in a world of thirsty dudes sliding into DMs, self-sufficiency is the ultimate aphrodisiac. We are moving into deep waters now. You have executed the silence, and her brain is in overdrive. Now watch for the counterattack. This is where most guys fumble the bag. They see a reaction and think they won, so they immediately revert back to their old, thirsty ways. Big mistake. Her initial reaction isn't submission. It's a frame check. She is testing the fence to see if it's actually electrified. You will see the low-effort ping. This is a random meme, a hey with zero context, or a like on an old photo. Do not get it twisted. This is not genuine interest. This is her shaking the treat jar to see if the dog still comes running. If you jump all over this crumb of attention, you prove that your silence was just a bluff. You show her your price is cheap. You must let these pings die on the vine. You see them, but you do not engage. You are teaching her that low effort gets zero reward. If the low effort pings fail, buckle up, because the anger and accusation phase is next. This is classic psychological projection. She feels insecure because of your silence, so she tries to make you feel insecure by attacking your character. You might get texts like, "Why are you acting so weird?" Or, "Are you seriously ignoring me? That's immature." Listen to me carefully. This is a trap. She is trying to bait you into defensive mode. She wants you to say, "No, I'm not. I was just busy, sorry, babe." The second you apologize for living your life on your own terms, you hand her back the crown. When she calls you weird or immature, translate that in your head. What she is actually saying is, "Your behavior is scaring me because I can no longer control it." Do not defend. Do not explain. Your silence is the explanation. You remain an unmovable object against her emotional storm. Then comes the jealousy manufacture. When she realizes she can't reach you directly, she will try to trigger you indirectly. Suddenly her Instagram stories are lit. She's out at the club, she's looking extra good. Maybe there's a vague elbow of another dude in the frame. She knows you're watching. She is weaponizing your own FOMO against you. She is trying to manufacture the same competition anxiety in you that you created in her. If you fall for this and slide up on her story with some jealous nonsense, you lose instantly. You look weak. You look bothered. The ultimate power move here is to view her story and do absolutely nothing. Or better yet, don't even view it. Let it expire unseen. That is a psychological dagger. It tells her that her best attempts to look desirable aren't even on your radar anymore. You are completely unfazed by her attempts to make you jealous because you are genuinely focused on your own grind. Look, anyone can ignore a text for a day. The real work, the dark psychology masterclass, is in maintaining what we call stoic frame when the pressure gets turned up. Frame is your perceived reality. Up until now, her frame was, I am the prize. Your silence challenges that frame. Maintaining stoic frame means your emotional state is independent of her actions. You aren't ignoring her because your butt hurt or trying to manipulate her. You are ignoring her because you are genuinely prioritizing yourself. There is a massive vibration difference between angry silence and indifferent silence. Women can smell the difference. Angry silence is still reactive. It means she still controls your emotional state. Indifferent silence is terrifying. It means she doesn't matter as much as she thought she did. You have to internalize this. You have to be okay with losing her. The paradox of attraction is that the moment you are truly okay with walking away, that is the moment she wants you most. So when do you break the silence? This is the re-engagement protocol, and it must be executed with surgical precision. You never break silence on her low-effort pings. You only re-engage when she offers high-value communication. If she eventually sends a text that actually has substance, an apology, a genuine question about your life, an actual invitation to meet, then, and only then, do you consider replying. But you do not reply instantly. You wait. Maybe hours. You let her sit in that uncertainty a little longer. And when you do reply, you match her energy minus 20%. If she sends a paragraph, you send 2 sentences. You are polite, you are direct, but you are brief. You have stripped away all the fluff, all the validation, all the simping. You are training her that access to you is a privilege that must be earned through respect and genuine effort. This leads to the permanent shift in the dynamic. If you execute this correctly, ignoring her once, weathering the storm of her reactions, and holding your frame, the relationship dynamic changes forever. You have reset the baseline. You have demonstrated that you have boundaries and self-respect. Before, she took your attention for granted. Now she knows it can be withdrawn if she acts disrespectful or low interest. You stop being an option and become a priority because priorities are scarce. She will start chasing you. She will be the one double texting when you're actually busy. She will be the one trying to lock down plans. You haven't used magic. You've just used basic human psychology. People value what they have to work for, and they respect what they fear losing. By ignoring her once, you showed her you are capable of both. You showed her you are the main character in your own movie. Let's talk about the FBI phase. When your silence persists past the initial reaction and you haven't taken the bait on her low-effort pings, she enters investigator mode. This is where the dark psychology gets heavy. Because you aren't giving her data, she has to go find it. She starts digging. She's checking your following list to see if there are new girls. She's asking mutual friends if they've heard from you, trying to play it cool like, hey, haven't seen Mark in a while, is he good? Make no mistake, she is gathering intel. She is trying to solve the puzzle that is you. Every minute she spends scrolling back to your posts from 2019 or analyzing your Spotify activity is a minute she is investing in you. This triggers the sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy is a cognitive bias where people continue a behavior because of previously invested resources. Usually we talk about this with money, but in dating, the currency is emotional energy. The more time she spends thinking about why you are ignoring her, the more value her brain assigns to you to justify that wasted time. Her subconscious logic goes like this. I wouldn't be spending 3 hours stalking this guy if he wasn't important. Therefore, he must be important. Therefore, I must really like him. You are literally hacking her brain to convince her that she is obsessed with you. You haven't done anything. You haven't bought her flowers. You haven't taken her to dinner. You have simply removed yourself, and her brain is doing all the heavy lifting to build your value. You are living rent-free in her head, and she is paying the mortgage with her own anxiety. This is also where she starts to rewrite history. When you were chasing her, she focused on your flaws. He's too needy, he's too available, his jokes aren't funny. But under the weight of your silence, the rose-colored glasses come on. She starts remembering the good times. She forgets the desperate texts you used to send and only remembers how you made her feel safe. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, not because of magic, but because absence removes the ick. It removes the annoyance of your neediness. She starts idealizing you. She creates a fantasy version of you that is strong, independent, and mysterious. You are no longer the guy she rejected. You are the guy who rejected her. And in the female hierarchy of selection, the man who walks away is always the man with the highest status. Before we hit the final phase and the warning, check your status. Are you subscribed? If you want to master reality and stop being an NPC in your own life, you need to click that button. Join the top 1%. Don't be lazy. Now we arrive at the final destination, the pedestal effect. If you have held the line, ignored the bait, and let the silence do its work, you have successfully flipped the pedestal. In the beginning, you had her on a pedestal. You treated her like a celebrity. Now, because you have shown that you are willing to lose her, she puts you on the pedestal. This is the only dynamic where a healthy or even a toxic relationship can actually sustain attraction. Women cannot love a man they can dominate. It is biologically impossible for a woman to be attracted to a man she perceives as weaker than her. By ignoring her, you have demonstrated strength. You have demonstrated that your mission, your life, and your dignity are more important than her approval. That is the definition of a high-value man. But here is the warning. This is where the relapse danger is highest. Eventually, she will crack. She will reach out with genuine compliance. She will say, "I miss you," or "Can we talk?" This is the victory moment. But do not, I repeat, do not vomit your feelings all over her. Most guys get this text and immediately go back to factory settings. They say, "OMG, I missed you too. I was just trying to be cool. I love you so much." You destroy everything instantly. You prove that the silence was just a manipulative trick. You prove you were a fraud. When she comes back, you must stay in the new frame. You accept her back into your orbit, but you do it slowly. You remain the prize. You keep the mystery alive. You never go back to being the text buddy orbiter. This isn't just a tactic to get a text back. Ignoring her once is a metaphor for a lifestyle change. It's about realizing that your attention is a limited resource. You shouldn't be ignoring her just to play a game. You should be ignoring her because you are actually busy building an empire, hitting the gym, or leveling up your skills. The dark psychology works best when it's not a lie. If you are actually busy and successful, ignoring her isn't a strategy, it's just your reality. And that is unbeatable. When you stop needing her, you get her. It's the cruel irony of life. You have the blueprint now. You know how the machinery works. Stop being the fan. Be the player. If this breakdown shifted your perspective, you know what to do. Like the video, leave a comment, and make sure you are subscribed for the next deep dive. We don't sugarcoat anything here. We only speak facts. See you in the next one.